Alright lads, welcome back to the place where we inspect cars more carefully than we analyze our ex's mistakes. Today we're talking about something quite unusual, a machine that just showed up and already has German engineers scratching their heads while the Italians are busy adjusting their collars because the competition suddenly looks that good. If you're new here, welcome to the UK Motoring Hub. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. This is the Renault 5 E-Tech. Quick question. Have you ever seen a car where the best feature is it tells the whole world you're about to run out of battery? Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But Renault has done exactly that, and they've done it with full confidence right on the bonnet. It's basically a slap in the face to this era of electric cars that are as big as a fridge and about as emotional as a primary school essay. Exterior, retro charm, or just a clever throwback? Looking at the Renault 5, you might think the highlight is the wheels or the lighting signature. It's not. The real star of the show is the bonnet. Instead of leaving it clean, Renault slapped a massive LED 5 right on top. When you charge the car, that number lights up progressively, just like an old-school video game energy bar. It's so intuitive that even a 5-year-old could tell when the car is fully charged, while you're still fumbling around trying to find the fuel cap release in your old petrol car. But that glowing 5 comes with a side effect. It tells everyone around you exactly how much battery you've got left. It's like going out for drinks and your wallet is constantly displaying 10 pounds left. Brutally honest, no hiding. What do you reckon? Would you be comfortable broadcasting your financial situation like that right on your car's forehead? Let me know in the comments. Now take a proper look at the shape. It's this interesting mix of classic hatchback proportions and a slightly futuristic vibe. Boxy, compact, but not boring. It's so small and nimble, I swear it could squeeze through tight London side streets that even cyclists hesitate to enter. Renault says they're reviving a legend, but honestly, it feels more like they're reviving people's urge to spend money, because with a design like this, it's genuinely hard to say no. Interior, where lipstick meets baguette. Step inside and you're greeted with what feels like a gentle slap in the face to Tesla's minimalism. While Elon Musk wants you to stare at a massive iPad stuck onto what is basically an empty wooden shelf, or, let's be honest, a very expensive blank space, Renault goes in the complete opposite direction. They go for character. They go for detail. They go for personality. And the centerpiece of that personality is the gear selector. Yes, the gear selector. It looks exactly like a lipstick. Not inspired by, no, it's a lipstick. And you can customize it with different covers, what they call the E-pop shifter. Blue today, pink tomorrow, depending on whether you wake up feeling like a knight or a princess. It's actually more responsive than your crush leaving you on red. At least this thing reacts when you touch it. But hold on a second. You're a grown man, hands like shovels, sitting behind the wheel, and to reverse, you gently flick what is essentially a lipstick. Just picture that moment, muscles tensed, serious face on, and there you are, delicately applying makeup to your gearbox. Peak masculinity right there. And of course, this is French, so they couldn't stop there. You also get a 3D printed baguette holder, because priorities. They might run out of money, but they will never run out of romance, or bread hard enough to knock someone out for criticizing their car. And if you don't fancy carrying a baguette, you could use it for anything that fits. Maybe a takeaway coffee, maybe something else entirely. Be honest, if this car lands in the UK, how long before someone redesigns that into a proper Greg's holder? Performance. Quick or just quick to back out? On paper, the top version makes 150 horsepower. That might sound a bit underwhelming compared to some Chinese EVs shouting about 0 to 60 in 3 seconds for reasons no one fully understands, probably just to make it to A&E faster. But the Renault 5 plays a different game. It's quicker than your mates suddenly changing their minds when you ask to borrow money, but mainly in the city. With its compact size and a rear multi-link suspension setup, something you usually only see on more premium cars, it weaves through tight streets like an eel escaping a hot pot. Driving this around town feels like playing a racing game on easy mode. Everything just stays under control. But remember that glowing 5 on the bonnet I mentioned earlier? If you keep flooring it to get that pin to the seat feeling, that number will drop faster than someone's credit score after missing a few payments. You get a 52 kilowatt-hour battery with a claimed 400-kilometer range under WLTP, but that's lap conditions. In real life, if you've got the aircon on, blasting music from Jean-Michel Jarre, and carrying a passenger, that number will disappear faster than an ex blocking you after finding someone new. And here's the twist. Renault says the car supports 100 kilowatt fast charging. Sounds great, but that's only on the higher spec version. The base model, you're on 11 kilowatt AC charging at home. It's slow enough that you could walk from London to Manchester and back and the car would still be thinking about it at 80%. Better than your ex in what way? At least it won't leave you, mainly because it doesn't have enough battery to go anywhere far. Technology, when your EV starts a side hustle. The most confusing feature has to be V2G, vehicle to grid. Renault claims the car can feed electricity back into the national grid and earn you money. Brilliant. Drive to work in the morning, plug it in at night, and then sell electricity back during peak hours to make a bit of cash. Sounds like a startup idea, doesn't it? But something feels off. It's like buying a cow, milking it every day, selling the milk just so you can afford to buy grass to feed it again. In the end, the only one profiting is the cow and the energy company, while you're basically working for your own car. And speaking of milking, remember that lipstick gear selector? If you've got big hands and you treat it like you're shifting gears in a lorry, I wouldn't be surprised if it snaps quicker than drivers slamming the brakes when they spot a speed camera. If it looks like art, treat it like art. Don't go full force on it, unless you fancy turning that lipstick into a pile of 3D printed debris. Pricing and final verdict. Renault says the starting price is under 25,000 euros. Sounds as smooth as a lullaby, but let's be honest for a second. That price is for the absolute bare bones version, where that glowing 5 might just be a plastic sticker, and the baguette holder is probably replaced by something you'd find in a bargain shop. To get a Renault 5 that actually feels proper, you're looking at around 35,000 euros. And for that kind of money in 2026, you could easily buy a large Chinese SUV, something massive, loads of range, and capable of driving halfway across the country without needing a charge. So why is everyone still going mad for this thing? Simple. Emotion. The Renault 5 E-Tech isn't selling you transport, it's selling you a lifestyle, the kind where you casually listen to Jean-Michel Jarre even if you don't really know who he is, appreciate a lipstick-shaped gear selector, and feel confident enough to show the world your battery level on the front of your car. This isn't for people who compare spec sheets all day. It's for people who want to feel something again when they get into a car. It's smoother than the way people forget you after borrowing money, and definitely more interesting than sitting inside a personality-free mobile fridge. The Renault 5 E-Tech is full of contradictions. It's modern enough to integrate AI like ChatGPT, yet old school enough to come with a baguette holder. It's brilliant in the city, but borderline useless if you're planning a long countryside road trip. So here's the verdict. If you're single, live in the city, enjoy a bit of style, and want an easy conversation starter at a charging station, go for the Renault 5. But if you've got 3 kids and a German Shepherd, I'm sorry, that baguette holder isn't going to improve your life unless you use it to hold sausages for the dog. Thanks for watching all the way through. If this review felt quicker than your crush leaving you on red, don't forget to like and subscribe to the UK Motoring Hub. I'll see you in the next deep dive.